kingdoms collapse. Now anarchy reigns. You want it, you got it. Now anarchy reigns.
Yo, what's up? It's another episode of You Want It, You Got It podcast. Today, I am speaking with guest number 4, Mr. Eric Orozco. What's up, boss?
Greetings from Western New York, my friend. How is Tennessee?
Well, since the last time I talked to you, you were in Tennessee.
Right, yeah.
It is your typical March in Tennessee. We don't know what weather we're going to get today. We might get snow. We may get sun. We may get a tornado. Who knows? You know.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's what it is now. But so you since then have moved to Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York, yeah. My wife got, I guess you can call it a dream job, and they made her an offer that she couldn't refuse. I couldn't refuse, and they relocated us up here back in August. So we are pretty much at the home stretch of our first Buffalo winter, which everyone that all of the locals that we speak to, that we hang out with and whatnot, work with, they say this has got to be one of the worst winters that Buffalo has had in a couple of years. So if that's the case, and we're still here, I think we can handle Buffalo winters. It at one point, I shit you not, it probably snowed or sleeted, maybe freezing rain for 47 days straight.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that hits, outside my window would shut down Nashville, Tennessee for weeks. Kroger would be out of bread, milk, and eggs like that. But I get on the road, you see school buses, you see kids walking to school. I mean, everybody's just like, yeah, it's snowing. So what?
Yeah. Gotta keep going.
But yeah, I mean, we love it. Buffalo has been, it's been everything that we hoped it would have been. I mean, we're looking forward to spring because unlike, Middle Tennessee, we actually get designated seasons. So yeah. So we'll get spring and then we'll go right into summer. So, but yeah.
My sister's stationed in Korea right now, and she's there for one of their worst winters in a few years, and she's like, "Really? I come here and they have a worse winter?" And
yeah, for sure. But
hey, it breaks you in.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say this time, like last year around Halloween, they said the kids were trick-or-treating in snow. We didn't really get our first snow until after the Thanksgiving holiday, but it just kept snowing. It kept going. Yeah.
When did you move up there?
We got up here the first of, I think, August 3rd is when we, Will's touchdown. We drove up here. Yeah. And we were staying in an Airbnb for a hot minute, waiting for our condo to sell. And then we ended up moving over into a really cool neighborhood, which we're in right now. We're in a rental, but it kind of reminds me of Hillsborough Village, but a lot cooler because Vanderbilt University is not right up the road. No, but a lot of there's a brewery in walking distance. There's just a kind of like a corner bar in walking distance. Lots of cool record shops in walking distance. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So you live in the cool part of town.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Since you've been there, you've seen some pretty cool shows while you've been there already.
Yeah.
One you went and saw in the beginning of February, I believe. Tell me about this band that you saw in Buffalo last month.
Oh, the Hometown Boys. Yeah, that would be Snapcase. Yeah, that was awesome. They still got it. Energy there. Musicianship still there. It was great. I hadn't seen them. I want to say the last time I saw Snapcase was probably, it was either late 90s or early 2000s. No, it was late 90s. Yeah, because it was either at 328 when they played with H2O and Face to Face. That was like the
Damn.
package. That was the package tour. It was either that or I saw them in St. Louis. We drove to St. Louis for Warped Tour because it wasn't stopping through Nashville that year.
Ah, damn.
And yeah, Snapcase was on that one.
Well, you said you saw it was Snapcase, H2O, Face to Face, and if it was like the late 90s or mid 90s, late 90s, that's around when H2O is getting their start.
Yeah, I want to say H2O had probably just dropped Faster Than the World.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think that was, well, yeah, because it was faster. No, it was what's the one with the Sacred Heart on it? Thicker Than Water.
Yep.
So it might have been in between Thicker Than Water and Faster Than the World. Yeah. Yep.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Such a great band, and I haven't seen them nearly as much as I wish I could have.
Yeah.
But the times I have seen them, they don't disappoint.
Oh, dude, they're coming up to Buffalo for the East Coast Fuck You tour with Bouncing Souls. So my wife and I are going to that. And I want to say Dave Haas is on the bill and maybe Adolescence. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check the flyer.
Well, that first Toby said there's a second leg.
Okay.
The first leg is not kidding Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kind of bummed because, I would love to see H2O, especially this current version of H2O,
Yeah. Toby's got his son playing drums now, right?
You always hear Toby keep saying, he's like, yeah, man, having him back there, he's making us feel young again. He's like, no, we're gonna play at this song and we're gonna play at this type, we're gonna play this right. And he's like,
nice,
keeping us going, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. But I want to say the first show that Laura and I went to up here, and it was a great one. It was Smoking Popes opening for Get Up Kids, and they were doing their Something to Write Home About tour. Just playing all the songs from that, and then they took a break and then came out and played, all of the hits from the other records. So yeah, that was really great too. Yeah.
What do you feel about bands that do the whole albums and from start to finish? What do you feel about those tours?
Dude, I think it's great. I mean, especially if it's an album that, like carried me through a lot of shit. I mean, seeing them play, all of those songs, in order, how you felt when you were listening to those songs. Like you had that, I mean, that was, Dashboard Confessional, that's such a great name for a band because we all have our dashboard in our car. That was our confessional, we're, screaming out lyrics to our favorite songs. And that's just, a great yeah. But I would love to see Bouncing Souls do, a tour of Hopeless Romantic, because that was the record that got me into that band. And then of course I went, backwards and, listened to all their earlier stuff. And then shortly after, I had finally started listening to Hopeless Romantic, they had put out How I Spent My Summer Vacation. And that that fucking album, that's just as great, if not better than Hopeless Romantic, in my opinion, anyway. So.
Yeah, I Bouncing Souls is one of those bands that I didn't get into till later. I mean, I knew them, I've seen them, heard them, but I didn't really get into them until later.
Yeah.
And the Hopeless Romantic one, that's a good album, and that's the one I started with. And then now I just stick it on there, on Pan or on Spotify. You go to like this is, Bouncing Souls, and then just hit that list for 2 hours and just hit on random and shuffle it up,
Yeah, dude. If you like documentaries, which I'm sure you do, right before How I Spent My Summer Vacation, I think that's that was around the time right before that album came out. They had a documentary called Do You Remember?
Okay.
It's phenomenal. If you're not a Bouncing Souls fan, by the time you finish that documentary, you're a super fan. They talk about Pete, the guitar player. He talks about when they were in the studio recording the tracks for Maniacal Laughter. They were in the same studio that Kiss was in.
Whoa.
And I can't remember what album Kiss was recording at the time. I'd have to probably go back and look at, like when the albums were released. But he said that, I don't know if it was both Gene and Paul, but Gene walked into the control room and was listening to like the playback of one of the songs that they had just laid down. And they're all freaking out because here's fucking Gene Simmons, standing in the control room and listening to their punk rock songs. And he's just like, oh yeah, this is really good. I really like this. Yeah, I'm Gene Simmons. Yeah. Well,
he goes, and just for me commenting, that'd be $150.
Exactly. Yeah. Man.
So I gave you a little list earlier today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we'll skip around, and I got some questions also too on here that I did not give to you because they are. Oh, I'm so jealous of you right now. But enjoy that Modelo for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want you to give me your top 5 '80s flicks.
Ooh, top 5 '80s flicks. First and foremost, a movie that, well, shit, man. At the age that I was watching a lot of these movies, I shouldn't have been watching them, but luckily I had cool parents and an older brother that was just like, here, watch this with me. But number 1, forever and a day, Breakfast Club. Number 1, hands down.
Are you the type of dude that even if you're by yourself, you're fucking reciting what the fuck's going on, like what they're saying? Like, sure. I know that movie inside and out because I lived in Germany, and you know how it was back in the 80s. Yeah. So we had a VCR and a fuck ton of VHS cassettes recorded, and I wore that movie out. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how me and my family saw it. Is somebody had it in the community. Nice. John Bender, man, he's been paving my my ways, my personality since I saw him, man. But yeah, somebody in our community had that movie, and they were like, here are Roscoe's, here's Breakfast Club, and here's another VCR, record it. You have it. So yeah. But yeah. So yeah, first and foremost, Breakfast Club, and then coming in, number 2, easily National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one. Yeah. That was good. Okay. Yeah. That one is strong. I mean, so many great one-liners from that movie. Me and the guys from Hellfire Revival, we always we joked around with Russ. Yeah, Dad. It's like if we're looking for somebody, it was like, hey, Robbie, and he's like right over my shoulder.
Yeah. But yeah, that one, National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one. Yeah, that's a solid number 2 for sure.
Real quick on the Breakfast Club. Like Nicolas Cage was up for the role for John Bender,
I did
and
not know that.
John Cusack was also up for the role for John Bender.
Wow.
Can you imagine? It would not have. I don't think it could have been this. It would have been the same character.
Yeah, no. I mean, Judd Nelson brought. Yeah. I mean, I can.
Only other person I could think of would probably have been maybe damn it, I'm Iron Man.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.
I think he could have probably pulled off a good Bender because
Yeah.
he was probably in a Bender at the time.
Yo, for sure, right? Yeah. No, I could see Nick Cage, after watching Valley Girl, and his role in Valley Girl. I think he could have been a strong Bender for sure. I definitely don't see John Cusack. Not yet anyway.
No, it took John Cusack, older John Cusack, to become like that serious type of guy.
Yeah.
He's always he always just the goof guy, the guy that your girlfriend left you guy.
Right. Which brings me to number 3, Pretty in Pink, which had John Cusack in it. He was one of the geeks, one of the computer nerds. But and then another guy that that paved my fashion sense and the way I looked at girls and the way I felt about girls, John Cryer, aka Ducky.
Ducky,
yeah. And I mean, plus, dude, anybody that was watching those movies around our age, we had the hugest crush on Molly Ringwald.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that movie because I watched 3.5 Men or 2.5 Men. Is that what it's called? 2.5 Men with
Oh yeah.
Well, and he's in whatchamacallit, Ducky's in there, right? But I didn't notice that was him growing up and shit. And when they would always make the breakfast, the Pretty in Pink references, I'm like, why do they keep referring? And then one day I looked it up and I'm like, what the fuck? That's him. So,
yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
is that Long Duck Dong?
Yeah. Because now I have a place to put my hand,
Yeah. Yep. Good movies.
At least you don't have to sleep above a dude named after a Dutch dork. 4 and 5.
Can I guess to see if this movie's in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is one of them Back to the Future?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, that's got to be in there. Yeah. I mean, that's easily number 4. I remember seeing that in a theater in Germany on base, and it had probably been out for who knows how long in the States.
Yeah.
But I remember we went to, I can't remember which army base we went to. But yeah, we saw Back to the Future. Yeah. That shit. What a great movie. And another movie that, was like, oh, I got to get one of those. And that was a fat skateboard.
Yep. The Veriflex one. Wasn't it a Veriflex?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
You remember when you were a kid though, that's the skateboard you saw. But when you got older and you got the Pro Decks and shit, you're like, oh, you got a generic board. You got fun of people.
Yeah.
Or a Nash, like a Nash board.
Right.
Have you looked up the prices of that Veriflex board these days? It's like $400 or $500.
Jeez, that's awesome. Yeah. Number 5, I'm gonna say Police Academy.
Okay, the first one.
The first one. Yeah. I mean, what was it? And then Police Academy 2. Which one had the Bones Brigade in it? Was that 3?
I think that was 3.
Yeah, Citizens on Patrol. Yeah. But the first one, another movie that I shouldn't have been watching at my age, but yeah, such a great movie. Such a great 80s movie for sure.
Oh, and I watched a movie recently that gave me totally like 90s vibes. That Y2K movie, have you heard of it?
No,
It came out last year. I guess it came out around either October or December. I can't remember which month it was. But total 90s vibes, like house parties, like
Okay.
like when you're in like high school, like the house parties in high school. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way this movie, but then of course it has to do with Y2K. So
Okay. Yeah.
but it's a great fucking movie though. I enjoyed it, just because it gave me that feel,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Kind of
sure.
kind of like the new Kevin Smith movie that came out, the 430 movie. If you have not seen that, it takes you back to like the summers, like when you're
Okay.
in elementary, middle school, like that
Oh,
era. Like it makes
okay.
you feel like you're a kid back then. You got your first job.
Yeah.
Sneaking into movies and all that kind of stuff. So
Nice, nice. What is it streaming on like Netflix or something or?
no, I bought it, but
Okay.
I believe it's on I think it's on Max now.
Oh shit. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called, what's it called?
430.
Okay. Nice.
It's basically loosely, like all his movies, is based after a summer one year when he
Okay.
met a girl.
Yeah,
So,
dude. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if anything can take me back to the summer of 1989, yeah, yeah. I'll totally dig that. Yeah, that was a good summer for me. There was a year my brother graduated, and him and his buddies, they all worked at Opryland, and
okay.
I was always hanging out with them, and I got like a season pass to Opryland because my brother
Okay.
won it. But yes, yeah, summer of '89. That was a good summer.
I didn't get to experience Opryland.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you were over in Deutschland.
But when I got to Clarksville, it was open for like maybe one more Halloween, and then it closed down, and then they built a big shopping complex.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a band store and it doesn't even have a skate park. That's so lame.
Does it have a band store in there?
It did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It had one when it first opened, and then it closed down. And then I want to say right before Laura and I moved up to Buffalo, there's one there. Yeah, yeah.
I need to get the Vans though with like the extra support now.
Oh yeah, dude. I've got the Vans snow boots. That's what I wear right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and for a minute, I was like, where I work downtown Buffalo, and I have to park in a parking garage and then walk, maybe half a block or a block to the building that I work at. And, it was at first, it was like, all right, you wear your snow boots to work. And then everybody changes into their work shoes once they get to work. Fuck it. I'm over it. I wear the damn Vans all day. I don't care.
Hey man, if they're comfortable too, and you got them,
Exactly.
hey, you paid the money for them.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm ready to wear my normal Vans. Jesus, we got up to like the 50s today, but it was raining, and tomorrow it's going to be 30 something and snowing again. So,
well, it's funny because like the other day it was in the zeros and twos and shit.
yeah.
And then it got up to 34 and sunny as fuck. I'm outside in shorts with a fucking t-shirt on, taking the trash out. Like, man, it feels great out here today.
Yeah. I look at my Hawaiian shirts in my closet and I'm just like, soon. Just hold on, guys. I'll wear you soon enough.
Are you a Hawaiian shirt all summer kind of guy?
Pretty much. Yeah. But what's great about living up here is I can wear a black t-shirt and not sweat my ass off when I go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, I might go back to a black t-shirt.
Yeah. Every once in a while I'll wear a band t-shirt and, not bake in the sun. So
that is true.
Yeah.
And guess what? Every band has black t-shirts.
Exactly. Thanks to them, I have a wardrobe.
I've told you this before, but I've been going through and looking at a shirt and be like, not today. And be like,
Yeah.
all right, you're going to get sold today. And I'll look at some
Yeah.
more. And then I go through that. Then I'll go through that pile of things that I'm going to sell and
Yeah.
give it a one more look through. Oh, I'll save this, you know. It's like,
Dude, I had to purge so much stuff before we moved up here, man. Yeah. My wife was just like, you have too much shit. You have too many shirts. I'm like, sorry.
where'd you take them to?
I think I just gave them to Goodwill. Yeah.
Somebody went thrifting through there and went, holy shit. And then they went to
there was a lot of my old shirts from like the 90s that I bought in shit for some odd reason back in, 98, 96 to 98. I went straight for the extra large t-shirts when I did not need to wear extra large t-shirts.
No.
And there were a lot of extra large t-shirts that I just had to part with, but I knew somebody could make money off of them. So I donated them to my friends at a store in Old Hickory, Tennessee called Live True Vintage. So yeah, Tammy and Jeff from Java Christ and Hillbilly Casino. It's him and his wife. But yeah. I remember like one of the shirts that I donated was a Porno for Pyro shirt that was extra large. I was never going to wear it. And Tammy saw it and she was like, yoink, this one's mine. I'm keeping this one. Right. At least I know it's in good hands. So
yeah. I actually have a Rancid Let's Go one, the fist.
Yeah.
It's purple.
Oh, nice.
With the black print or maroon, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, and it has the image in black, and on the back it has it, but it's dated 93, I think it's dated, and it's the original. Oh. I stole that shirt from the sound shop.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But I still got it. You know what I'm saying? And I got that. I got an OG Sublime shirt still. That's not even white no more. It's now off-white.
Yeah.
But I got a Fugazi shirt, which is, it's in on the Kill Taker one.
Yeah.
And it's like an oval and it says Fugazi, but
yeah,
you don't know if it's real because we don't know if they really even made merch.
Yeah, if they pressed it or not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's one shirt that I don't know if I just lost it in a move or what, but I had a Mother Love Bone shirt that I bought. I remember buying it at Governor Square Mall. I can't remember if it was Sound Shop or another kind of like boutique type, music shop there. But yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was the apple. It just said like Mother Love Bone, and then it had like caricatures of them and an apple. Yeah, that one was rad.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a bootleg Danzig White Zombie shirt that I got from a scalper. On the front, it said on the front it said Danzig it had the How the Gods Kill cover all in horrible print, and on the back it said White Zombie with the picture of them.
Yeah,
and I had that shirt forever. Then it just disappeared.
That sucks.
And I'm like, yeah. But do you remember when people used to? Sorry if I'm sounding loud. I got to turn my alarm that's going off on.
No, you're good.
But do you remember all the scalpers in front of shows back in the day when they would sell the bootleg shirts for like $5?
Yeah. And you would take them home, wash them, and the print would go right off.
or the shirt would be like fucking lopsided after it washed and shit.
Yeah.
I actually bought a Prince one for when I saw him at Municipal. I didn't want to wait in line, or I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't know why I didn't get a shirt. But I went outside, and I was like, "Oh, fucking bootlegger!" And I think I was just that's the mentality I used to do. Like in California, I always buy the bootleg shirts. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I should have supported the band more, But so I stopped and got a shirt off a scalper, and I still have it but it's an extra large because I was wearing extra large. I don't. If I wore that anywhere, it's gonna be around the house,
Yeah, frame it.
Put it in a frame.
Yeah, my mom had mentioned it to me one time. She's like, "What are you gonna do with all these shirts?" And I was like, "I don't know. This is years ago." And she's like, "Put them in a frame." And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
You got them.
Yeah.
So, anywho, those were some good movie choices you had there. I can back them. I wouldn't change a few in mine. I think I could just make a rundown on mine. Would be like The Breakfast Club for sure.
Yeah.
And now the next one's going to be. Now these are the movies. The reason I'm picking these movies are just because like it's what I watched on the regs all the time in the 80s in Germany. So I've seen them so many times.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say The Breakfast Club, Thrashing,
Yeah.
Back to the Future. Now here's a movie I used to watch a lot, and it's with Linda Blair in it, and it was called Savage Streets.
Savage Street.
It's this gang of dudes
Yeah.
rape her handicapped sister, like she's like deaf and mute, and they rape her in this bathroom, and she's getting revenge now after I kind of think they may have killed her sister after they did it.
Geez.
But so it's like she's like this vigilante, like going for revenge on them and like looking around the city and fucking just destroying them every way. But that movie,
Okay.
and then the other one would be Rad.
Yeah. But I
Just
mean,
because I watch those on the regs, so that's just why, you know.
Yeah, honorable mentions, of course, Goonies, St. Elmo's Fire, and I'm going to throw this one out to my buddy Rev, who is, he's in The Drowns. This is one of his favorite movies. You remember The Last Starfighter?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Last Starfighter for Rev.
I have that Last Starfighter game for for NES. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Do you remember the movie Explorers? It had River Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Sean Astin and somebody else, but they make this spaceship out of like a laundry machine, a washing machine, a trash can.
Yeah.
And then they go to space and they find these crazy looking aliens and shit.
Yeah. I think I've seen that once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally remember that one. Yeah.
I used to wear the fuck out of that too.
Yeah.
Of
course.
Go ahead.
Stand By Me. That's another honorable mention. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The 48 Hours movies, 1 and 2. Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
Yeah. They're all now.
And just so everybody knows, the 80s was not 20 years ago anymore.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
It's like fucking 40 years ago, and that's crazy talk.
Now retro is the 90s. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah, they said they were saying, talking about Back to the Future, if Marty and Doc had to go back in time, they would be going back to 1990.
Jesus.
And I'm like, ain't much really changed besides the technology with like your cell phones and your computers and shit. But for the most part, everything else is pretty much the same.
Yeah. No hoverboards. No
flying cars.
No flying cars. Yeah.
Unless someone's taking a Cybertruck and trying to jump into a building, that's the only flying truck you're getting.
Yeah.
Have you seen your New York Cybertruck yet?
I think I've seen one. But yeah, luckily not that many. Yeah.
They're so fucking ugly, man.
Yeah, dude, it's yeah.
I remember when the first Clarksville one came in, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Everyone's taking pictures of it, posting it online. I've seen the first Cybertruck in Clarksville. I'm like,
yeah. It's yeah. What a piece of shit.
Compensation. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Compensating for a small dick.
Right. Yeah.
Or like Kevin Smith would say, an oversized clit. Who knows? So, All right. Now, in no particular order, as in either your
Mhm.
opinion, because that's who I'm talking to. 5 influential '90s punk bands
On me.
on you,
Okay.
or if you really wanted to, or if you want to say 5 influential punk bands that were influential for that time for newer artists.
Um, I'll go more so on like my songwriting and
Okay.
like what I'm into. First and foremost, I mean, number one, without a doubt, Face to Face. Um, yeah, I mean, I saw them open for the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, and I remember going to Tower Records like maybe that following weekend. And we're at, all of the little sound stations where you could, they had, 4 or 5 CDs and you had the headphones and you could listen to it. And I remember seeing Big Choice in one of the stations, and I plugged my, the headphones over my ears and sat there and pretty much listened to the whole damn thing. And I remember Jamie, our guitar player from Freeloader, he was like, "Yeah, that's who we saw open for Mighty Mighty Bosstones." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So yeah,
I like how you did. I like how you did that with like you had the headphones on and he's like talking and you're like, oh yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll never forget that moment. I mean, yeah, it's just another thing that music is first and foremost, one of the most special things in my life.
Oh yeah.
But number two, I'd have to say No Use for a Name. Just Tony Sly and his writing, the songs, just what a great songwriter. What a great band. Lost him way too soon. Wish he was still around, still making music. So yeah, definitely No Use for a Name. Number three, one of the bands that really got me like really into punk rock and getting me out of my I conformed in the 90s while I was in high school. Green Day.
Yeah.
That album Dookie, that was like, hey, Eric, you remember who you are? You're not this nerd wearing button-down shirts trying to date all the cheerleaders. It's like, listen to this little punk rock girl that gave you this CD. Remember who you were. And yeah. I mean, of course, and then listening to Dookie and then getting 39 Smooth and Kerplunk, after that, just boom, just great. Another band from the 90s that our bass player Jeremy introduced me to, and it's just because he was in the Army and he had disposable income because he lived on base and didn't have to pay rent. He didn't have a car. Comes back from a division band trip with this huge box full of CDs. And one of them happened to be a band called the Parasites, and the album was called Punchlines. And I got that CD and threw it in my CD player, and I never gave the CD back to him. It's great. It's pop punk the way it should be. Songs about girls and boys and heartbreak and just everything that I that I can relate to, I guess you can say. But yeah, Parasites from the band from the 90s, and then my buddy Matt Yonkers, aka Matt Drastic, his band, the Teen Idols, another great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely got to give Teen Idols their love. Nashville's very own. Took me forever to like them, but
Why is that?
Because we were always playing down at Lucy's record shop. Freeloader was, and I don't think we ever played with Teen Idols. I think Matt may have been running sound, or Philip may have been working there. doing door or, whatever. But I thought we should have got the same love I thought Freeloader should get the same love that Teen Idols did. And we never did. Not by the Nashville crowd anyway.
Yeah.
And, it's just, it's cooler to sit outside and smoke when you're underage and you can't drink than, watch the band that was playing inside that drove 45 minutes, from Clarksville. Yeah. But I remember seeing Teen Idols open up for, we talked about it on the episode the episode number 4, seeing the Teen Idols open up for NoFX with Swinging Utters, and me looking over at my brother, and I'm like, all right, I get it. They're great. I like the Teen Idols. Yeah.
I always thought they had some pretty rocking covers. Their covers on their album covers were pretty cool, man.
Yeah. They had that, just that greaser, that Ramones core, leather jacket, but it also gave that, that rockabilly tinge, Yeah.
Talking about bands from back in that era, I don't know if I've asked you this in the past or even on that episode. Do you remember the band Fecal Matter?
I do. I don't think I ever saw them, but I definitely, if it was either putting up flyers for the bands that I was in at the time, seeing stickers in, the Inn's bathroom, it's like, well, I'm going to put my sticker right next to these guys. Yeah.
Look, theirs looks cool, and people might see my sticker next to that cool sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago on another episode, and we're talking about when Green Day was breaking for Dookie, how they took Pansy Division on tour with them.
Yeah.
And Pansy Division had never been on anything that big ever. They were this small little band, blah blah, and then they're on this huge tour. But they're out there being the same people that you saw in the club in San Francisco, fucking whipping dildos and shit all over the fucking place. And
right, yeah.
Then I saw them a couple years, or probably a year or so after that tour, but I saw them at Lucy's, and I got to witness Pansy Division in literally full flesh in front of me, and I was just like, they sure do. They sure are what they are,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, we got to open up for them at Lucy's, and their bass player decided to just drop his pants, and he wasn't wearing any drawers, and he just had like a button-down shirt on and his bass, for pretty much, I guess, like the tail end of his set, and then after the show, he takes his bass off and he's running around the crowd, and he ends up like chasing Buddy Rowe and like cornering Buddy up against the wall, and Buddy's just like, here's the bass player half naked.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was the only show they did play in Nashville.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that means I probably had saw you play before.
Yeah. You saw Freeloader in its glory, man.
Yeah. It was me, and it was me. No, because if I would have went down with Sean McFadden knew who you were, right?
That name sounds very familiar.
It probably not then. Okay. No, because he used to Northeast kids,
Okay.
So yeah, no. All right. So I have a new thing that I'm doing on the podcast.
All right.
And we still got some more questions to ask too, but this is a segment where I'm asking the guest previous to give me a question for the upcoming guest. They don't know who the guest is. They don't know anything about this person.
All
they
right.
just gave me a question.
Cool.
So it just so happens this one will work for you.
Nice.
So the question is, tell me about your worst or craziest gig. What was it and why?
Ooh. Worst or craziest gig? Man. All right. Yeah. I elaborated on this one in the first episode, but yeah. this has got to go down by far as like one of the worst gigs that I had ever played. I had a little backstory. This is probably around 2002, 2003, maybe. Maybe closer to 03, 04, I don't know. But I had bought an Epiphone SG from Media Play. It was the goth model, flat black, beautiful guitar. I bought it for $200. There's a reason why it was only $200. I'm playing just like the most, dainty strings that you can get, super slinkies. Like I should be, like a guitar slinger, just doing crazy solos and everything, which I wasn't. I basically played the guitar like I played drums, which is, just banging away at the damn thing, knocking it out of tune. Well,
yeah, I mean that's how I play bass.
I didn't have a tuner. I would tune before the set and boom, let's go. Well, during this show, it was at Springwater. Lonesome Town Drifters had befriended a band through MySpace called the Massacres, a psychobilly band from Chicago, and we brought them down and we played Springwater. The lineup of Lonesome Town Drifters at the time was myself on guitar and singing. We had John Grab on bass, electric bass. We had Danny Sermsai on lead guitar and Matt Drastic on drums. We had the intention.
So now, was Matt was he the first drummer?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, this was right before. This is probably what drove him to get Bullets to Broadway up and going because of this fucking gig, because it was so horrible. But yeah, we're playing, and I don't know if I had one too many PBRs before the set or what, but I could not get my guitar to stay in tune. And it was terrible. It was embarrassing. It got to the point that we finally all agreed on stage, Eric, just take the guitar off and just sing. And I remember after that show, I felt very defeated. And I took the guitar to Rock Block Guitars down there on Elliston Place. And I was like, I need this thing set up. I want, tuning locks on it. And I want this, that, and the other thing. And the guy's just like, okay. He was like, what gauge strings do you play? And I told him, and he was like, that's your problem. He was like, you need to play a heavier gauge string. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you play a heavier gauge string, you'll be fine. He was like, I don't mind, taking your money and, putting all of this stuff on this guitar that, probably isn't worth having all of this stuff put on it. But if you increase your string gauge, you'll be fine. So, yeah. In a nutshell, that was the worst, by far the worst gig I ever played.
All right. Well, that was a good answer. I mean, and that was from Bruce from the band Empired.
Okay.
That I interviewed last night. And his episode's pretty cool. You check it out. I'll tell you about it later.
Cool.
So pinto beans or black beans?
Pinto beans.
Oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either.
No, you're right. You're right. That's
Yeah,
the
I
correct.
mean,
That's actually the correct answer. But
yeah. I think I grew up on pinto beans more than black
Black-
beans. Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
I'm a neither. I'm both. I like both, but I go more towards the black bean.
Yeah.
So,
Pinto beans have to be just like smashed and then refried. Yeah. Black beans, they're fine just by themselves for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Mexican or Chinese?
Mexican food all day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's the best answer. Unless I asked Slaughter this earlier, and he had the right answer. Mexican food, Chinese. He said, if you're just saying Mexican and just Chinese, Mexican. But if you're saying Mexican or Asian, I'm probably going to go the Asian cuisine because there's just so much more possibilities out there. And I said, I'll go with that. I agree with that one too.
Yeah, because I'm like, but what about Thai food?
Yeah.
And
this one it's going to be hit or miss with you. I know you equally love both of these two beverages.
All right.
But are we going margaritas or are we going tiki style drinks?
Ooh, I've got to go. I've got to go tiki.
Yeah.
One. We finally found a house after searching forever, what it seemed. But we'll be moving into our new place first of spring because it takes fucking forever to buy a house in New York. Like,
okay,
we got accepted, like maybe at the beginning of February, but there's so much red tape and lawyers and bullshit that you have to go through. But one thing that I am going to put in the house is a tiki bar. With my blenders and my rums and my coconut cream. I mean, there's a couple of cocktail bars here in Buffalo that we hit up, and it's snowing outside, but I've got a tiki drink with an umbrella in it, and I'm in heaven. So yeah, for sure.
Now, is your tiki bar going to be just like you're gonna have a theme? You're gonna have the walls painted around it, make a little tiki hut, and make it feel like you're outside?
No, it's probably just going to be like my fucking man cave. So it's going to have like this Jolly Rogers flag and, a whole bunch of old band shit. And pop figures and G.I. Joes and shit like that all around it. Yeah. It'll look more like, if you've ever been to it, Hubba Hubba Tiki Tonk in Nashville. It's right next to a pinball club bar called No Quarter. I highly recommend it. I really miss those guys. Two of my favorite things, pinball and tiki drinks. Hubba Hubba, by far my favorite tiki bar in Nashville. No offense, Jamie, I love you. Pearl Diver's great. Hubba Hubba is cool. It's got a whole bunch of velvet art. There's like a Eddie Van Halen velvet painting of Eddie Van Halen blowing smoke rings. Such a cool print. Yeah. They have a bathroom that's just dedicated to Christmas. Like you open the door and it starts playing Christmas music.
Oh yeah.
I highly like. Yeah. Anybody that watches this that lives in Nashville or frequents Nashville, go to Hubba Hubba Tiki Bar and tell them Bad7 sent you. So.
Yeah, and also tell them that he said he'll buy your drinks.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, I haven't actually. I never really, even back in the day, I never really went to Nashville all that often and frequent. I always stayed here in Clarksville and did my thing. But I know there's so many cool spots that were in Nashville and are probably gone by now that I will never get to go be part of.
Dude, I just saw there's a new venue called the Pinnacle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't know where it's at, but I'm pretty sure it's off Broadway or on Broadway. That's a smart ass answer. It's off Broadway. I just don't know where. No, I think it's like either on Broadway or maybe the Mumbrian area. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but yeah, they started selling tickets last June for
Okay.
concerts this year. I
Yeah.
know Killswitch Engage is there right now.
I know Dinosaur Jr.'s coming up, and they're not playing Buffalo, which really pissed me off because, it was like I've been looking at, like all of these shows that are coming through, and I'm like, oh shit, they're playing Nashville. They're not playing Buffalo. Son of a bitch,
Oh yeah, now you have to deal with that bullshit
Yeah.
that you don't get all the tours anymore because Nashville would get just about everything,
Yeah, for sure.
But you get to see shows that won't even tour outside of that area. So
True,
yeah.
And
All
I
right,
mean, another good thing about living in Buffalo is if a show does not come to Buffalo, it's 2 hours away up in Toronto. So we can always make the trip across the border, get some poutine, get some, some Labatt's Blue, and watch a show up in Canada. So, yeah.
Well, do you have to have your passport to go to Canada?
Yeah. I mean, we have it. If you have like one of those like travel driver's license, like you don't have to show a passport when you get on a plane now or whatever. The smart ID. I think.
I need to get one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we need going into Canada. So yeah.
So when did you get yours?
I got it. I guess I got it back in. I think it was October of this year.
Because you're
of
you're
last
in New York.
year. Yeah.
Oh,
Because I had to get my New York driver's license.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I'm glad because I'm leaving this weekend to go to Cali. So this will actually be released when I'm in Cali. But if I fly anytime after May now, I have to have the little emblem on my ID. And guess what? With them making the deadline, because this obviously this had went in effect back in 2000 something, but now there's like, oh, the deadline is this day. Well, now that it's the deadline, Clarksville only has one DMV.
Oh fuck.
So if I wanted to get myself that ID, it wouldn't be till almost the end of April till I can get one.
Jeez.
But so look, you said the Dinosaur Jr. show, that's July 24th.
Nice. Well, maybe
There's a lot. The Pixies are coming too, man. There's all kinds of cool shows coming to this little venue.
Man, I heard a bad thing about the Pixies. My brother was telling me that my youngest niece went and saw the Pixies at it might have been what's the new amphitheater right there by the river. Ascend. Yeah. That the Pixies played Ascend. Kim Deal wasn't playing bass, and she told my brother that Frank Black basically didn't say anything, in between songs or anything like that. So that was kind of a little disheartening. But it would still be them. Yeah, for sure.
Well, it doesn't even look like Kim Deal's even in the band anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she hasn't been in the band since 2013.
Okay. All right. Well,
so, but
how much I keep up with the Pixies these days.
Oh, that chick Paz Lenchenton or whatever. She's a pretty badass bass player, but
okay.
I know her from something. I can't remember what. She's 51 years old, but if you've seen a picture of this woman, she looks like she's 20. She looks like she's 22.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
But,
she does Pilates.
Yeah. She's also Argentinian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So never mind. It's like it's in the water.
Right. Yeah.
It's like Asians. Asians look the same until one day they just wake up and then they're with their hands behind the back and they're just like walking, I'm not lying,
Right,
I said it. You can just laugh at me. So I've been going back to my roots, and my roots is like the punk world,
Yep.
especially the 90s era punk. And, I've always, I like, you're like me. We have a huge variety. Our music taste is all over the place, but you have your one style you always feel comfortable at home with. And that's, to me, that's just 90s punk. The past 2-3 weeks, that's all I've been talking with are these SoCal punk dudes, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much great music out there that are newer bands coming up in the scene. But then they also are turning me on to bands that I knew the name but never really checked out. I was like, I don't know, or even you send me bands too.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And I'll be like, man, I knew this name, but I never checked it out. So I'm just like, my fucking little brain is just like taking in all this new music the last fucking month. And I'm just like, man, there's so much good fucking music out there in this world right now,
Yeah, for sure.
But have you heard of the SoCal band called Chasers?
Yes. Yeah.
They've actually been around for like 20 years. But they're getting that now. They're putting all that work in, I guess what they said. And the last couple of years they've been hustling hard, touring Europe and shit and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, dude, I not to mean to cut you off, but I mean, even when I was in Blacklist Royals, and we had more fun playing Europe to playing a club show in Europe than we had fun playing a club show in the States, because I don't know what it was, if it was just that, hey, these kids knew that this American band was coming over to play and they just ready to just party, or they really liked us. But it seemed like there was more of an appreciation for live music when I was in Blacklist Royals playing overseas than when we were playing in the States. Yeah, for sure.
I will say this. You hear bands and people that tour often say things, and they're not nothing against anybody, because, they love their fans, but it's like Europe shows so much more love for these bands. They can go to Europe, a band go to Europe and sell out the whole 2 months tour.
Yeah.
But they come to a 2-month American tour and dates are getting canceled, or because no one's coming. But you go to Europe, you'll see these bands, like say some of these bigger bands headline 6 or 7 fests in like 4-week time, and all those fests are fucking sold out. And you probably got everybody traveling to go all these different shows, but people are still showing up for these bands,
Yeah, and it's all open air. I remember. Yeah, it's called like festival season over there. And it's just all of these crazy open air festivals. It could be anybody from like, Less Than Jake on like one stage headlining, and then like 2 stages down is going to be Iron Maiden headlining.
Exactly. Yep.
Between Korn or somebody,
Biscuit.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I just wish we had more. I mean, we have like what? Bottle Rock Fest in Napa. We have Aftershock Fest in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Coachella. You got
Louder Than Life. Is that in that's in Louisville?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Shaky Knees in Atlanta. That's a new one, right? Or fairly new.
But what about Voodoo Fest? And you got Voodoo Fest in Louisiana.
Yeah. And of course, we've got Bonnaroo in fucking Manchester. I wish they did that. They only did that exit. What is it? 111
once.
And I went to that one. I went to one day, which was amazing because I got to see Ghost for the first time. I got to see Mastodon for the first time.
and
Wow.
I'm a huge fan of both of theirs now. I got to see ZZ Top. I got to see
Hell
Cheap
yeah.
Trick. I got to see Gojira, which I'm a fan of now.
Hell
It
yeah.
was a great fucking festival, but yeah, it was put on by Eddie Trunk. And yeah, it only did 1 year. But yeah,
Was it at the festival grounds that Bonnaroo were at?
yeah, it was at the Bonnaroo Festival grounds. I want to say Slayer played that like the night before.
Guns N' Roses headlined.
Yeah. But yeah, I only had day passes for that one day that I got through a friend. But yeah, we were gonna stick around to see Def Leppard because my wife really wanted to see them, but it was so fucking cold, and we did not dress properly for once the sun went down. Because we were like, we're sitting there watching like Mastodon, and Cheap Trick, and it just keeps getting colder and colder, and it's like, oh fuck, man, we still got like another hour before Def Leppard goes on, and we ended up piecing out. But
well, it definitely was cold because it was in October. Yeah, that's cold time at night. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not dressed properly, dude, your feet are freezing.
I remember this now that I'm reading it. The Anthrax replaced Megadeth because that's when Dave was diagnosed with throat cancer.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I forgot that Anthrax was on that. Yeah, I'm so glad I got to see Anthrax at
Marathon.
No, I got to see him at the Ryman. Yeah, it was Hatebreed, Black Label, and Anthrax. Yeah.
Oh, that was, and then out front they had the big Ozzy, right? The big inflatable Ozzy out front.
Yeah, I took Drastic to that because my wife couldn't go.
Oh man,
I don't know. I think I bought us tickets for that, and we were like right up front. Like, you know, I could see like Scott Ian sweating. And yeah, I remember Laura saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go see Teyana Taylor. I think that's her name, over at Marathon." And I'm like, "Babe, is Anthrax?" You know? And she's like, "I'd rather go see Teyana Taylor." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And yeah, I ended up hitting Drastic up, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, you in town?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You want to go see Anthrax?" And he was like, "Yes." So yeah.
Now, did you see Anthrax in a venue before Ryman?
No, that was my first time seeing them.
Well,
yeah.
And that's a good place to see them, I guess.
Oh, dude, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, it was just funny. It was like because Jamie came out from Hatebreed, and the first thing out of his mouth was just like, "This is weird. This is going to be like the first Hatebreed show that hasn't been like a pit." Because people would try to get up and like enjoy themselves, and if they got anywhere near the walkway, the frickin' you know, people that worked at the Ryman, you know, tapping on shoulders, "You need to scoot over," you know. It's fucking Hatebreed, man. Come on.
I forgot what show was there. Maybe it was Deftones. No, it was a show, and maybe I'm making this up. So, you know, fuck off if I'm lying. But in the front of the stage, do those chairs come up?
No, those. Well, no, I take that back. There's the pews, right?
Yeah.
And I think there are a couple of like folding chairs that they put. Yeah.
That makes sense. I forgot they're pews, and you can't just pick up some pews and move them out the fucking way. I had only been to the Ryman once before I actually seen a show there, and the first thing that I ever saw there was Ralphie May, the comedian.
Nice.
And
God
then, yeah. And he was talking about coming to Clarksville because, you know, he lived in Jolton, he lived, you know, Nashville, Antioch, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I went to that was actually a music performance was somebody that I'm glad I got to see, but I got to see Oasis there.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, the both brothers, they didn't fight.
What
I
album?
just so
Do you remember what album?
it was like 2006.
Oh, okay. So they're
So
just probably playing off
they
this.
had just got back together from
Okay.
choking each other out or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sounded great, phenomenal. And then I never went back again until I think Deftones.
Okay.
It was Deftones, Cold Orange, and I think that's it. But yeah, I didn't really go there that much, which sucks because
Deftones is another band that's touring right now, and they're making a stop in Nashville and not coming through fucking Buffalo, and I'm so pissed because I just recently like finally got on that Deftones train, and I mean it's yeah, God, it's I saw a meme or something like that, and I had to share it with my brother, but I was like, Deftones is like Oasis for Mexicans. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, one of the shows I got to see Beck on the Odelay tour
at the Ryman.
At the Ryman, and the Cardigans opened, and I don't know if it was because of the girl I was seeing at the time that I went to the show with that I had such a horrible time. And I felt like I thought that I was going to fall asleep during the Cardigans, or if the Cardigans just put me to sleep. I remember just like seeing Beck work his magic on that Ryman stage, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was. I want to say that might have been like one of the first shows that I went to at the Ryman. Maybe I'll have to double check my memory. But so
that was in '97. You said.
That was probably 97. Sounds about right. 96, 97.
My girlfriend at the time, or maybe she wasn't my girlfriend at the time. Maybe I just wanted her to be. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That sounds all creepy and shit. Maybe I wanted her to be. No, she had gone there, and I was supposed to go with her, but I never went. I didn't go. But Rob went.
Yeah.
And he was talking about something about their DJ. He had didn't Beck have a DJ that was like doing like a little DJ set or something?
Yeah. I just remember his bass player just being phenomenal, and he had a little low fro and like just playing his ass off, man. Yeah, he had a great backing band. I remember that for sure.
He's so fucking talented, man.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
It's like when you first found him, when we all first found him, he was like. It was like, oh, and maybe he might be a one-hit wonder kind of guy, but
dude, who would have thought that, after watching, Loser on 120 minutes and then MTV sing at no, this doesn't just need to be played on 120. This needs to be played, throughout the day. It was like that he would have blossomed into like what he is. I mean, same thing with the fucking Flaming Lips, man. I remember seeing Flaming Lips on Beavis and Butthead, and then seeing on 120 minutes, and I'm like, oh, these guys are rad. And like me and my brother and his first wife, the bitch, we went to Murfreesboro, the Murphy Center, and saw Flaming Lips open for Candlebox.
Holy shit.
And I can't remember if I was still in high school or not. But yeah.
If you're saying Candlebox, I'm thinking Candlebox came out towards like around our senior year. So
yeah, so it was probably after or like during my senior year for sure. And yeah, I remember like Flaming Lips came out and they had like Christmas lights draped on all of their instruments, and they killed it. And then Candlebox came out and we're pushing our way up front. And I just remember, college Randy's and everything like that, doing the crowd surf. And I remember getting popped right in between the eyes
by a fucking Timberland or like a, you know, a hiking boot. And it didn't really faze me, you know, during the show, but I remember walking back to my brother's car and, you know, his, what a, bleh, you know, she was such a horrible person, but she's like, Eric, what happened to your face? And I'm like, what? And I look in like the rear view mirror and I had like this huge welt right here in between my eyes from this fucking boot, man. It's horrible, man.
Well, I looked up that show for the Flaming Lips Candlebox one.
Mhm.
So it's funny because they played Murfreesboro, that same venue,
Yeah.
in February of '94 and November of '94.
Oh, wow.
February of '94 is the one you saw with Flaming
Okay.
Lips and
Yeah.
a band called no, scratch that. You saw them in November. It was
Okay.
November when you saw them, and it was Flaming Lips and Sweetwater.
Oh.
But now the show in February,
Yeah.
that was in Murfreesboro at the Murphy Center with Rush.
Rush? Fuck. I wish I would have went and saw that one instead, man. That
In
would
'94, Rush was playing Murfreesboro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, Candlebox was a good band. You know, I think they got on the train at the end. You know, that train was already coming to a stop, and they tried. But their second album, I think it was called Lucy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That was a really good album. But after that, they kind of fizzled away. Now, they did release a new album last year or the year before last, and it's fucking rocking. Like it has like some grungy fucking feel to it. It's like, all right, yeah. But we had mentioned this in the beginning, and I asked you, and this brings us back to what I'm about to say. But I asked you how you felt about bands doing the entirety when you're like, yeah, fuck, I'm for it. And I got to see two shows like that recently this year. Or last year, I saw Green Day do Dookie and American Idiot.
Yeah.
But then I also got to see Weezer do the Blue album in its entirety.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal. But what I was going at was Flaming Lips opened up and Dinosaur Jr.
Nice.
Dinosaur Jr. made the Bridgestone Arena sound like your neighbor's garage. Like it was so fucking loud. It was just like, and he's just sitting there, just doing his thing. And then the drummer, he's a fucking beast too. You know, they're just like all this sound, you know?
Yeah.
But Flaming Lips stole the show for me. Like their stage show was amazing. And like, that's what sucked me in. Their music's great. It's so much going on in their music. But their stage show is great, man. If you haven't seen them in a while, check them out, man. They're so great.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Blue album when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see Weezer ever again. I think I saw Weezer on it wasn't the Pinkerton tour. It was the Green album. I went and saw them at Municipal Auditorium.
Okay.
When Weezer came out with the Green album. And they had Saves the Day open up for them. And that was rad.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool. Saves the Day played like a lot of their just like more mellow stuff though. So that was kind of a bummer. I mean, I just wanted to hear At Your Funeral over and over and over and over again. But yeah, seeing Weezer on that first tour, holy shit, man, they were so great.
Wow, that's cool as shit. Who was on that tour with them? Was that at 328?
It was at 328. Yeah. I can't remember. It may have been That Dog.
Ooh,
but no, sick. I want to say because I saw that show at 328 around the same time that I saw Foo Fighters, and I know Shudder to Think opened up for Foo Fighters. I have a hard time remembering who opened up for Shudder to Think. It was always a three-person bill. And I remember seeing That Dog at one of those shows.
It was the Weezer show, July 23rd, 1995.
Okay. Who opened up for him?
Weezer. It was Weezer, That Dog.
Oh, it was Weezer and That Dog? Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
I wonder who else played the Foo Fighters Shudder to Think show.
Well, see now Foo Fighters played Nashville twice in 29 and in 95. They played the beginning of 95 and then they played the end of 95. Let me type this in real quick. I'm going to find it.
And my ticket stub frame is still packed up because with this being a rental, we really haven't unpacked anything.
I don't blame you, man. You didn't get to repack. It's like this house up the street for me. The people are only in it for a year until the people that are living in it move in.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Like, so let me see. Because I can't remember which one was Hovercraft.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
Because Hovercraft opened up for Foo Fighters when I saw them.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that was like at the beginning of 95, like maybe like February or something. But
a band called Shudder to Think played with Foo Fighters. I remember.
All right,
that.
here it is, right? Okay. So I went and saw them in April of 95, and that was with Foo Fighters, Mike Watt, and Hovercraft.
Okay. And
cool. Then they played again. Now, Shudder to Think, I keep hearing that name a lot. I mean, I know who they are, but it's like the probably out of the last 6 podcasts I've done, that band's been brought up probably 4 of them.
Yeah, you need to listen to them, man. They were on Discord.
No, they're good. Yeah, they're Discord.
Yeah.
So this dude I interviewed the other night, Jason Dietz, he was from the DC area, so he was like, "Yeah, I was seeing Shudder to Think when they were starting." And
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So Foo Fighters, August 22nd, 1995, 328 Performance Hall.
Yeah.
They don't show. The person didn't put who opened.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it didn't happen, dude. You're just lying to us, dude. You're just lying.
No.
It didn't happen.
It was Shudder to Think. I know that for sure. Speaking of Shudder to Think, the lead singer is
it was Shudder to Think. It was.
Okay. Who else? Was it just Shudder to Think?
Yeah, because I went to the Memphis State, and the Memphis State has Shudder to Think on it.
Okay. So. The lead singer of Shudder to Think was on Krista Makes a Podcast. I don't know if you've listened to that podcast yet. Really great. They analyze the writing and recording of a certain song. Really great.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but the lead singer of Shudder to Think was on with Chris. I highly recommend checking out that episode. And I mean, check out the episodes too. It was really good stuff. I mean, you guys, like you and Chris, are my favorite podcasts that I go back and forth with. So.
You're just saying that, because you keep going back listening to yourself. You're like, that's me, you know.
Yeah, the hair is longer, man. Yeah.
Mine was actually platinum 2 weeks ago, and now it's back to somewhat normal.
Right on.
But, now I got the mullet thing going on too. I don't fucking know what. I don't know what. You know, hey, as long as we got hair, we can do whatever the hell we want with it over the years.
No shit.
So Eric, man, you're up in Buffalo, New York. You know, there's a lot of cool hardcore bands from that area. Every Time I Die, some band called Terror. You know, Buried Alive. Slugfest. Anything Scott Vogel. You know, I'm going to be jealous when you get to see Terror in Buffalo.
Dude, I'm waiting for that. That'll be like the next one that I'll really
Buried Alive.
Unless like Every Time I Die decide that they're going to, you know, play a reunion hometown show of some sort.
Did they just get like their own street or the key to the city like a couple of years ago? Like right before they broke up, I think they got like the key to the city or something.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like Double A, our drummer in LTD. He was the biggest Every Time I Die fan, and I never knew they were from Buffalo. I was just like, But yeah, I remember we were at a brewery. There's so many great breweries up here.
And yeah, there was just like some Every Time I Die fans, just like Street Crew or something. They had like back patches. I was just like, holy shit, that's dedication right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, now that I got the Snapcase hoodie, man, I wore it out the other night. Last Friday, we went down to the local brewery, and I could see all these old timers, older than me. I call them old timers, and I see they like lock eyes with a Snapcase, and they're just like, oh, okay. And then the brewer, he's like, oh man, what's up with that Snapcase hoodie? I was like, dude, I saw him, a couple of weeks ago. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, they played a hometown show. He was like, that's fucking rad, man. So, but I told my wife, I was like, the only thing that will make, like this move even better, because I was stoked to, get out of Nashville. I lived in Nashville since 2001. I was like, we can get to Buffalo and Snapcase plays a reunion show. Plays a hometown show. How badass would that be? And I remember seeing, the post on Instagram, and I was just like, holy shit, it's happening. The worlds are aligning, the planets are aligning. Because it's funny, man. It's like, if ever I saw them post something on Instagram, I was always play Nashville, play a show in Nashville. You can stay at my friend's house, and I wouldn't even let the friend know, I was like offering up their house for, but I'm doing that with Gorilla Biscuits now. It was like, I follow Sib on Instagram, and I'm just like, all right, how about a Buffalo show, dude? Like, I need to bring up the fact that Snapcase played and it was off the chains, and maybe he'll be like, all right, motherfucker, we'll get there. So
I think the last time GB played anywhere, if I'm not mistaken, was probably like an LA show or something. I think it was like H2O, Gorilla Biscuits, and maybe Civ. I don't know. It was weird.
I saw him at Fest, not last year, but year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Threw it down, didn't they?
What's that?
I said they threw it down, didn't they?
Oh, dude, yeah. They're so great. So great, man.
It's funny to see what that band did, and then to see what that band has done now. Like, they spawned so many badass bands after Gorilla Biscuits,
Right. Yeah. Arthur's a machine, man. I mean, what Rival Schools, Quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna see about getting tickets to the Refused and Quicksand. They're playing here in Buffalo. I've got to see about getting tickets for that. Got to get tickets for the Souls and H2O, and I might go see Smoking Popes again with Off With Their Heads. So that's coming up.
Off With Their Heads.
Yeah.
For some reason, I heard the name. I know the name. I know the logo. I know everything.
Yeah.
Never really fucked with them because I always thought by their name that they weren't going to be my cup of tea.
Oh, dude, they're so great.
They don't even fit the name.
Yeah.
It's like there's this band called Candy, and you would think they'd be like this little poppy emo band. No, they're not. They're brutal as fuck. But so that band Barbarians of California?
Yeah. They were
How
one of
was that?
They were good. Yeah. I didn't know that they were another band on the side.
Well, no. The singer has that that AWOL Nation band.
Okay.
Whatever that song is, but he's into that kind of shit, and that's what he did. So they're doing their own little tour right now too, just like one of the guitar players from My Chem. He has a fucking I never think of their names, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like the letter.
The drummer of Thursday, right?
Is that who the other guy is in the band?
Well, yeah, I think it's the drummer and the bass player of Thursday are in this super group with the guy from My Chemical Romance. They're called like something Crows or
What's his
Damn.
name?
They
Frank,
played.
it's Frank Lero's band. T.S. Dunn's.
Yes.
T.S. Dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
Yeah. They.
Okay.
I want to say they played. I think they played the Basement East a
Yeah.
handful of times. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even, dude. Fuck this super group. It's a super group, but it's fucking. it's the singer from Circus Survive and Seosin, and the sound of animals. Vocalist Anthony Green with Mike Cam guitarist Frank Eero,
Yeah.
Coheed and Cambria guitarist Travis Stever, the bass player and the drummer are from Thursday. Yeah, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. Coheed, that's another band that I just, I had seen that name and I was just like, okay. And I saw like a video like back in the day, and then I actually started listening to them like one day at work, and I'm just like, okay, these guys are fucking pretty good, man. I mean, it's kind of like Rush, it's just like,
oh yeah, totally
great musicianship, long ass songs. Yeah, good stuff, man.
So did you like at the drive-in?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go, like bonkers for them and go like, over the top with them, but I always appreciate it at the drive-in for sure. Yeah,
I never got to see them, but I got to see Sparta.
Oh, nice.
Sparta was really, and I still like Sparta to this day, and I mean, I still like at the drive-in.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. We were talking about since that era. We were talking about Refuse earlier. It's funny how like that band like dropped that album and then they were done, or they but man, they are such a great band. And now they're doing that reunion run, and I'm just like, not coming here. But talking about this reunion runs and stuff, Poison the Well's coming to Nashville, right? And
okay.
All these shows they have Glassjaw opening up for them, except for Nashville.
Wow. I was listening to Glassjaw the other day. It's like I listened to the Refused and then I put on Glassjaw.
Yeah, it works that way. You go and like you're like, oh, I'm gonna put this on next, and then you're gonna,
Yeah.
So, but anywho, man, Eric, we did it again.
Yeah,
we did it again, man. We've got another episode in the books.
Nice. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I can't wait to do it again.
We could probably honestly do our own weekly fucking podcast and be like two fucking schoolgirls,
Just once I get the setup at the new place, I'll get microphone. Just let me be the side dude that chimes in every once in a while on episode.
Let's talk about that after we get done with this real quick, because I actually have an idea for you. I was going to throw your way anyway, so we're kind of already there. But at the end here, we're going to do this too. I want you to name out 2 albums you feel everybody that's listening, the 3 people that are listening, should go out and listen to. Like what 2 albums that you feel like everyone should have?
Like
anything. Like you feel like those 2 albums, you need to have these in your collection. Like you have to have these you have to listen to these records. Like they're a must.
Oh man. All right. Let me do some perusing real fast. Man. Oh geez. Wow.
See, that was a question I didn't want to tell you because I wanted you to just use like sporadic.
Sporadic. I mean, I could easily say, Face to Face, big choice. And funny side note about that record is if you watch anything by Face to Face, any documentary, read anything about, their feelings on that record, they hate it because they feel like they didn't put enough time into it. They didn't put enough, production into the record. And funny side story, at Warped Tour, probably 2003, 2004, I met Matt Riddle, who played bass on the Face to Face Big Choice record. He was touring with No Use for a Name, and No Use for a Name was on the Warped Tour that year. And I went up to Matt, and because you could talk to anybody at merch tables usually back in the day. And Matt was at the merch table for No Use, and I was like, "Hey man, my name's Eric. I just wanted to shake your hand and thank you for putting out one of my favorite records of all time." And he was like, "Oh yeah, what record's that?" And I told him Big Choice, and he was like, "Fuck off." I was like, "No, dude." I was like, you don't understand, man. It was like this record, it's just like it's like I'm listening to I'm listening to it, and I start singing the next song that's about to play, during the outro of that next song, So yeah. That Face to Face Big Choice, yeah, that is by far a record that you should have if you're a Ramones fan. And this will take me back to the summer of '89. Ramones Brain Drain. That record, that tape was just like a piece of my childhood, a piece of my adolescence. Me and my best friend Nate, we passed that tape back and forth to each other. It was a white cassette, and it had black print on it. And by the time that thing finally died, it didn't have any print. It was just one smudge. But that has been like a record for my collection that I've looked for forever. And they finally released it on vinyl, and I found it at a record shop here in Buffalo. Ramones Brain Drain, self-titled BR549 record. It's got it's a white cover with a telephone on it. For any fans of Western swing, rockabilly, even because they're punk rockers, that record, by far, that's a gem. NXS Kick.
That's a classic right there.
Got all the bangers on it. Oh my God. Such a great record.
It doesn't have this one though, does it? No, that hit. No, that was a good one.
And then I'll say a band that got me chastised and made fun of for liking when I was in middle school. I was a butt of so many jokes because I was a fan of this band, and I wasn't wearing a Metallica t-shirt or a Megadeth t-shirt. I didn't have their patches on the back of my denim jacket. I had a smiling cow with its eyes crossed out.
Oh yeah, Dead Milkman,
the
bro.
Dead Milkman, big lizard in my backyard.
Yeah, bro.
I was listening to that on Spotify the other day, and that band, I mean, that is just like a kinship between me and my brothers. We have a text feed, and I can just type out, 2 or 3 lyrics, lines, and send it to them. And then I get the next line of the song. So yeah, you Big Lizard in My Backyard will be my final one that I give you guys. No, I take that back because I'm going to throw in some hip hop, and I'm going to say The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. Shaheed Muhammad. Yeah, for sure.
You said Ramones, and that's the Ramones album. That I think I didn't know it at the time, but that was the first time I ever heard the Ramones was actually from Pet Sematary because of that song, the cover, and that's the first time I ever heard them. Because that was the song in the movie. And I didn't even know what the punk rock was. Actually, take that back. I think like watching Thrashing and seeing the fucking Chili Peppers in the fucking club at the. the thrash bash, and they fucking throw the skateboard out there, and they're
Nah,
like,
dude.
Hollywood Hills.
Remember when the Chili Peppers were good?
People
Man.
shit on them so much.
Well, dude, I mean, come on, man. Like Mother's Milk was phenomenal. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was that. It's like
You don't like
one hot piece of shit.
no Stadium Arcadia?
No, I mean, I'll
Okay, look, I like one hot shit. Like I like that album like people love Saint Anger, okay? Like
oh God. Okay.
I like Saint Anger to me is a great record, and I'll tell everybody why I always say this, and then I say this
Because of the
part.
snare.
Because of what?
The snare sound.
Shut the fuck up. Listen. It's inside the CD, it came with a DVD.
Okay.
And the DVD was them performing this album in their practice studio like we practice with the
Yeah.
homies, okay?
Okay.
That's the exact same sound that they had in that practice space
Right.
is what you got on that CD. And that's why I was like, this is a fucking raw album. To have it sound like that, but that's just me. That's just me. They could have had a better bass player on there, but he's a better bass player than me. But it's Bob Rock. Bob Rock. Yeah.
Man, it was just that whole watching watching a documentary, Some Kind of Monster. That was just like,
you're right. That did make them look like some bitches.
I don't know what's worse, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, or
that's hey, Manslaughter. That's so cheesy, but it's so good.
Dude, I remember watching that movie on like ABC, movie of the week or whatever, and just thinking this is the coolest shit ever. And then I remember my brother got it when I was probably still in high school. He found it on like VHS, and we all get together over at his place and we watch it, and we're just like, what the fuck? Like
that's one of those other ones that I wore the fuck out because my mom used to work at the PX. It was a tiny PX, and I would go through the book and we'd see what they could order. But like, ooh, Kiss Meets Phantom Park, order.
Nice.
Poison, flesh and blood, order. So I got all these VHS as well.
So you were like Randall at the video store, but you weren't getting porn.
No.
Happy Scrappy Hero Pup.
Happy Scrappy. Yeah. Yeah. All holds throbbing or whatever. Anywho,
filled with heart.
Yeah. So I ordered that movie and I had that VHS forever.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Clarksville, I sold a lot of my music, a lot of my VHSs, a lot of my comic books, so I can have some fucking weed money and coke money. And now I kick myself in the ass because now that VHS fucking Kiss in Phantom Park, that's a couple $100,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The only way to get it now is if you buy those Kistery box sets where like, Kistery 1, Kistery 2. It's like, it's kind of like the Pantera DVDs where you can see them on the road. Well, this has that. And then there's Phantom of the Park. Now I wish they would have released Elder as a movie because I think that's a great album. Kiss Elder.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I need to go back and give another listen. I mean, I
have the cassette.
Nice.
The cassette tape.
I'm pretty sure I have it on vinyl.
That's one of the Kiss albums I do need to get on vinyl. Is that one? And it's here's something too. You collect vinyl, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you go and try to find the old pressings, or you're like, I'll get the new release instead?
Oh, dude, 100%. I'm going to try to find the original pressing. That does not cost $150, obviously. I've got a copy. Me and my wife, we got a copy of Blizzard of Oz. Diary of a Madman, and I think it's an original pressing. We paid $25 for it. And that was, it sounds great. Oh man,
Yeah.
such a great Ozzy record. But yeah, I'm definitely down to, I'm not gonna overpay for a repressing just to have it. I'd rather,
See, well, for me, like the only band that I collect all variants of anything they do is Terror. Like I will get every fucking variant of every Terror record.
nice.
I don't care if there's 17 different colors. I'm getting all of them, right?
Yeah.
But some of these albums, like the Ozzy, for instance, I got mostly all the first Ozzy stuff up to No More Tears on vinyl, and then there's the shout it loud or shout something. It's just like a circle. It's a cover with his face on it, and I think it's like shout it loud or shout it live. Anyhow, I can't remember the exact name, but I don't have that, and I've seen like their OG pressing. It's like couple $100.
Yeah.
But that's what I really want deep inside. But at the point, like, who am I impressing? I'm just gonna get it for myself.
Yeah.
So I gotta get out of that mindset. Like I have to buy the original because that's what I will go for every time. The original. Press,
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be that guy in the record store that's like, oh, this is number blah 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 blah. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back. Yeah, I'm not gonna be pretentious record store guy. No, I've got better things to be pretentious about.
Flip it over and be like, oh yeah, this isn't the real one. See, on the real one, he's wearing a shirt with a middle finger on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So well, Eric, it's been another good time. We'll have to do it again here in another year.
Yeah.
You know, it's been fun. This will be episode 40.
Hey,
yeah. You know, I was like, I could have waited till 50, but I could have also made you episode number 7 too. But Russ didn't do that. That would have made too much sense.
No. Cool. Yeah. 4 horsemen. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And hey, and we all like we all like a 40. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
E40. All right. Well, Eric, I appreciate your time as always, man. Till next time. Peace, brother.
Peace. Later. And tiki drinks.
Oh, shit. Cancel. Shit. Fuck. What am I doing?
What are you doing?